Finding garages everywhere. Mechanics meet, sparkles are wrenched, rides are planned, stories are told, and dreams are hatched. This is our garage. Welcome to FARKLE Garage. I'm Kim Rock. On today's show, Harley rocker Kim Smith joins us from Down Under. Clive shares the trials of trials riding. We pop over to the Isle of Lamb. We meet the OPIUM gang, and our gang, Tiddlers, to Renfrew. All this and more on this episode of FARKLE Garage. Unfortunately, the FARKLE Garage Band is off touring. Luckily, veteran Australian singer-songwriter Kim Smith reached out to us on social media to share her new hit single, Thunder Run. Pretty amazing.
Amazing, like on social media, all the way from Australia.
Facebook.
Yeah, and
Twitter.
It's just like we're all connected throughout the whole world, right? Motorcyclists.
I've never heard her before, have you?
No, but you look at the pictures, you know, look at the video, you look at these guys, that could be the local bikers, right? Until they say something, they speak with a bit of an accent. Apart from that, they're probably just like us, right?
But it's amazing our reach, like we're across the world. It's cool.
Yeah.
One keystroke away, you know?
Except they ride on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, really?
The water goes down the drain the wrong way.
The wrong way. We did a long-distance interview with Kim, who shares her love of music and motorcycles.
Rock and roll and Harleys definitely go together. They're both noisy. I fell in love with the sound of Harleys when I was about 5 years old. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist. My favourite guitar is Les Paul. I've written hundreds of songs. All my songs are true stories. Highway spirit, wild soul, shining down on me, from heart. Smile like gold, black free top, baby, rock. Thunder Run is about a rider, a man that loved the highway and felt free. And because he's not with us anymore, I called him a highway angel. Highway gun, hit that throttle, thunder blast, quick as lightning, move fast, ride free, baby, ride with me, the baby, ride on free. Thunder Run was written about a free-spirited Harley ride. Highway angel, highway angel, take the lead. Dale Freeman was a great friend of mine, more or less like family. He was a photographer for Live to Ride magazine who sadly passed away. He came from some magical place and it's in memory of Dale. Everybody feels free on a Harley, and I tried to make it sound thumping like a Harley, and it's just a song about freedom.
Kim's new album, Thunder Run, is out now. Want more music? Check out Kim's website for some kick-ass rock and roll biker music. Clive, you met up with a band of desperados. A biker gang?
Well, a gang might not be the right term. Maybe the sons of arthritis could be a little closer. There's a group of seasoned motorcycle riders up Island, real motorcycle enthusiasts. Let's have a look.
How's that hip of yours?
Not bad.
The OPIUM. Oh my goodness.
Organization of politically incorrect.
Two guys initially got together for coffee one time.
You have to ask Charlie.
And the name didn't come to be until there was, maybe a dozen or so participants. OPIUM means Order of Politically Incorrect Unorganized Motorcyclists.
And our motto was buy high, sell low.
We're unorganized.
And no good deed should go unpunished.
So we just gather and do whatever, Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. Of course, proverbial talking about bikes.
And the sound of motorcycles.
Oh, the sound of motorcycles.
This is my first motorcycle ever.
If you take a look around here, you'll see a lot of them are old bikes.
42 years as a licensed motorcycle mechanic.
I've only started riding it about a month ago, so when I finished storing it, so I'm working through the license procedure right now.
I fit right in with these guys, I think.
How do you become a member?
Just have an interest in motorcycles. Our number one rule is there are no rules. Unorganized.
How did you meet the OPIUM gang?
Well, I was on the way to shoot a midget Harley Davidson.
Do we need to be politically correct here?
Okay, a very small Harley Davidson. And I bumped into these guys, and turns out the guy that built my Tiddler was actually a member of this gang. Group, sorry.
Hey, speaking of Tiddlers, we held the first annual Vancouver Island Tiddler Run.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look.
I was over at Clive's and we were drinking the scotch and I challenged him. I think he should get one of these little bikes and we should organize a ride.
Speed them round local boys that like to run amok. You never had so much fun going slow.
I just like the performance that you can get out of a small engine. Anybody can go fast on a big engine.
They transform you back to your youth.
Sure brings back some really good memories.
It makes you feel 14 again.
They're just a lot of fun. Look who's in luck, the rowdy and the loud. Look who's in luck, the wild and the brown. Smith and Brown shopping day. Watch out, they're coming to town. The hungry, they're thirsty. They like to sink them down. Smith and Brown get lonely out on the farm.
That day is always good when I get out with friends and ride.
You get a bit of a thrill out of it, quite frankly.
I spent more, literally, on a set of tires, my big bike, than I spent on this whole motorcycle. It's just cheap, clean fun.
What a great day. We had just a panic out there. It was really super cool to get back to basics riding our 9 horsepower bikes, right, Clive?
You can feel like a hooligan doing 60 kilometers an hour. We thought we were going to get arrested for street racing when we took off from the light.
Yeah,
we hit 32 miles an hour because there are miles, those old things, right?
Were you dropping a knee?
I tell you, going out through
dropping
Seward
something.
there, up all the hills, I became one with the gear shift lever, I tell you. It's up and down and rolling through that gearbox, you know.
Didn't take much to have to downshift, I tell you. A bit of breath of wind. Yeah.
What a hoot, what a hoot. Yeah.
Clive, you and Bev did another little trip to the Isle of Lamb.
That's right, the Isle of Lamb, not the Isle of Man. It's a little closer, Salt Spring Island. The British Motorcycle Owners Club of BC have an annual meet over there. I've been for many, many years. It was just a fabulous collection of motorcycles that showed up. Not necessarily British, a lot of them. There was Vincent's, there was MV Augustas, there was Triumphs, there was Nortons. There was a new Norton. Now, how about that? I bet you a lot of you don't know that there was a new Norton produced very recently. What a trick motorcycle that was. Yeah, what a great group of guys. Just got together, had a lamb bake, maybe a couple of beers, camp out in the field.
How many are there up there?
That showed up that while I was there, people kind of came and went. I would say that there was probably about 25 bikes there at any given time, but it just seemed to kind of roll over. People came and went.
How many years has he been doing this?
A number. Do you know, Steve?
No, I think it's gone back quite a while, though.
Yeah.
Exactly, I don't know.
I would guess 20, 30 years kind of thing. Like, it's a long time.
Did you just go over for the day, Clive, or did you stay overnight? Or
No, just for the day.
Just the day, come back.
Just went over with Beven, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Steve Holland, who's involved with the Rudge Club here. And that's kind of was my connection, and I got an invite and had a great time. Saw some fabulous bikes, met some really interesting people.
Nice. After the break, we go from Isle of Lamb to the barn of Bev. The Pope of motorcycles brings us another classic on Bev's barn. We'll be right back.
One take you on a journey to a place we both know. Back in time, 100 years ago.
The pre-ride inspection, it could save your ride or maybe even your life. Do this simple check every ride. Check your owner's manual for tire inflation specs, chain adjustments, and recommended maintenance schedules. Start at the bottom, inspect your tires for wear and embedded objects like nails. Tire pressure should be checked when cold. Inflate as per owner's manual or info on the swing arm. Check the tread condition of tires. Inspect your chain for wear, tension, and rust. If it's dry, oil it. Clean and oil your chain regularly. If you have a belt drive bike, look for belt wear and proper tension. Think of oil as the lifeblood of your motorcycle. Low oil can seriously damage your engine. Check and change your oil regularly. Know how to correctly check your oil? It's in your manual. Inspect your brake fluid reservoir. Test your brakes, hand and foot, as well as signals, front and rear. Test your horn. Check your headlights, inspect cables for wear, and don't forget to check your gas as well. Riders should carry a toolkit, tire gauge, and zip ties for those unexpected roadside repairs. Knowing that your bike is road ready makes riding more enjoyable and safer. Nothing is more disappointing than getting all revved up for that ride and finding yourself stranded on the side of the road instead of finding your riding zen and tearing up the pavement.
Your collection is so eclectic.
Well, it's nice to have a variety of things.
Here we are in Beven's barn again. Beven, what is this beauty?
Well, this is a 1934 NSU. The designer used to work for Norton. And he didn't get along for some reason or other with the boss, so he went to work for NSU.
You can definitely see the Norton influence, so when you look at the motor, especially on this side.
You can. This looks very, very like the CS1 Norton. It sounds lovely. Sounds like the Norton.
I bet.
Mm-hmm. This one, of course, is a hardtail at the back. No rear suspension.
Lots of spring right there, I guess.
That's the spring. That's your rear suspension right there.
Yeah.
Very low seat height.
Very low seat height.
And that was pretty common back in the older bikes, right?
It was safer.
Yeah.
Now today they can probably go higher because of the tires are so much better.
Gear shift lever looks like the, looks like the handle on your boat trailer winch, like huge. Look at the size of it, eh?
Somebody thought it was a crank to start it.
Yeah, that's right.
It was sold originally to Italy. It's got the Italian registration there. It survived there for many years, probably till the 60s. And then it was purchased by an Englishman, and he brought it out to England, and then a Vancouver fellow bought it out of Vancouver. And I saw it listed on Robin Mullet's website and fell in love with it. And so this is how it ended up here.
And this is original right now, this motorcycle.
The bike is completely original.
Yeah.
Which is very unusual for that age.
Wow.
And it's still running. It runs well.
I know that in the early 50s, I was looking up on Google that the NSU held the world land speed record at 211 miles an hour in the early 50s.
How's that? Pretty darn good, eh? And that was it years ago, yeah.
And it was a 500cc single, but they supercharged it.
Ah, that would make a difference.
Yeah, they supercharged it. But I think it was very much based on this drivetrain right here. You know, we just don't realize that nowadays, that the speeds that these old motorcycles were capable of.
Yes.
You know? But the brakes didn't live up to the speed, did they?
Oh, amen.
It's almost like it's a rubberized saddle, would that be right? Or does it just feel that way?
I thought it was rubber, because the rubber is just like this, but somebody told me it's leather.
Because it's still supple, right?
Yes.
1934.
That was from a vinyl cow. Yeah.
The Naga Beast.
The Naga Beast, that's it. The very early,
So the tanks, by this vintage of motorcycle, we no longer had oil and gas.
No, that's correct. It has just a separate oil tank, which is on the other side.
Regular gasoline, and then a separate oil tank on this one.
That's right.
You know what really strikes me about this bike, something that's very interesting, you know, it's so sleek, light, and, you know, just some of the stuff like the handlebars here, you could tip the risers up and then turn the bars at them and actually put it into like a touring position. But just the engineering and the thoughtfulness that goes into this stuff, I mean, this is beautiful. Feel the lever, the controls, like they're just so comfortable.
I think they're soft. They've got a feeling of patina on them too, from use.
Yeah. Would this be? Is this like a steering damper?
These are like a friction. They have a small, looks like a clutch underneath, clutch plate.
Like
you know,
clutch plates,
you can put a little friction and it's spring loaded.
Pretty amazing.
Oh no, it's just
it's a dear old bike.
There's nothing better than riding on a perfect cushion of air. Unfortunately, over the years, I've watched many people struggle with adjusting and filling their motorcycle air suspension. Using high pressure or another air source is difficult and can also be damaging to your air suspension units. Here is a beautiful little accessory hand pump unit from Harley Davidson. Everyone should have one of these in his or her toolbox or saddlebag. This pump was designed to allow safe, simple, and precise adjustment of the air suspension on your motorcycle. Unlike a bicycle pump or high-pressure air hose, this hand-operated pump has a controllable micro-bleed valve that allows precise adjustment of air volume. It also has a no-loss air connector that maintains shock pressure when the filler is being removed. There's also a swivel air hose that makes it easier to get at various valve stems. This simple, high-quality pump could save your ride and your butt out on the road.
This industrial operation makes everything from parts for local wineries to giant beams for bridges. They even make parts for Apple's latest high-tech interactive whiteboard. But Pacific Industrial Solutions in Kelowna is also the birthplace of something that owner Friso Stolk saw a need for while enjoying his other passions, dual sport riding and camping. So how do you take all that camping gear, maybe even a cooler for the bevies, on your small dual sport, yet still be able to ride those trails? The Trail Tail, 10 years in development. Friso's still tweaking it. Seems things are never quite good enough for this perfectionist. He invited me to Kelowna to check out his operation and to show off his Trail Tail. It weighs less than 45 kilograms with the optional fiberglass box. Early models were built out of aluminum, but they found that by the time they used a gauge heavy enough to ensure it wouldn't crack from the abuse these trailers take on the trail, it weighed within a few kilograms of the current steel model. A lot of Trail Tail owners head into remote areas, like South America, for example, where it's unlikely you'll find a local welder capable of welding aluminum. So steel it was. The workmanship and welding is absolutely top drawer. Every trailer is built by master welders and machinists. Many customers choose to run just the basic frame. It's designed to hold a cooler, gas can, and a dry bag. I chose the optional 133-liter fiberglass box. There's even an optional lid, that turns the box into a pet carrier. Freeso personally fits the trailer to your bike and makes sure you're familiar with how to attach and remove it. You might think that's the end. Not quite. Every customer that travels to Kelowna to buy a trail tail from Freeso is offered a night stay in the cabin at Freeso's home overlooking the lake. Freeso may be a businessman, machinist, tool and die maker, but his true passion is dual sport camping. I tested the trail tail out on the way home. The trail tail passed with flying colors.
Up next, we go from trails to trials. We visit a group of riders who bounce from rock to rock and defy gravity. After the break, the Billy Goats of bikers. Observe trials riding. We'll be right back.
This is about as far away from riding a cruiser as you can get. Super light, no seat. Trials bikers live off-road, way off. Hills, cliffs, gravel or grass. It's addictive. The ground beneath the wheels need not be horizontal. And when you're good enough, you'll know you've made the grade. Unlike motocross, it isn't about speed. Dave's shop, Moto Trials West, overlooks the Victoria Motorcycle Club. The club's hosted observed trials riding for decades. The club's always looking for new blood.
It's a great vibe. The whole community here at the club and Dave having a shop, honestly, it couldn't be any better.
Brandon's been riding for 7 years.
I started when I was 11 years old. When I hopped on this, I fell in love with it right away.
Spain and England dominate trials, with the Spaniards manufacturing most of these specialized bikes. This somewhat hidden sport began in Scotland over 100 years ago. Today, Dave and the 111-year-old club host events like this Mini Scot Trial. This consistency enduro event is all about a balance between speed and precision. The fastest time around the course sets the standard. Points are added to slower riders, and all riders accumulate points for putting a foot down or going out of bounds. Brandon's time was the fastest after covering the 12 riding sections in 2 hours and 1 minute, thus winning the Scot Trial with just 11 observed points.
I think the battle between myself, always trying to get better, and there's a lot of great competitors out here and you definitely want to beat them. And it's definitely tough mentally, but that's why we come out and practice hard and have a great fun time doing it with a lot of great people. It's awesome.
Dave says trials riding is a relatively safe sport. Spotters are positioned to catch riders should a fiasco occur. The rider becomes the shock absorber. Women make great trials riders. Dave says start slow. An open field's a great place to begin.
It should grow. It's such a great sport. Like I said, so many great people, and it's just a lot of fun at the end of the day.
Hanging out with us at FARKLE Garage. Have you got a story or know someone who does? Send us an email. Share it with us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll share it with the world. And if you want to see more Farkle Garage, watch us on YouTube.
And we've just been picked up by AutoWorks TV, the world's premier online network for motorcycling and automotive gearheads.
Before we go, remember, don't let the fear of what could happen make nothing happen. Later, bitch.
Strap on my brothers, boots are on the ground. Crack the throttle, hear that rumbling playing in my head.
Riding gear provided by Climb. Technical riding gear.